Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about what to do and how to manifest when it seems like you're not seeing movement, you're not getting the results you want, nothing appears to be changing. So what should you do? What are the actual issues to overcome? I'm going to get into all of this today, so stay tuned to hear my thoughts. And I'll just quickly pop on screen for any new viewers or people considering coaching. You can just take a quick overview, a couple of seconds to view, my coaching, my membership, which is newly launched. Very excited for that. It's the most affordable, easy way to get extra support from me, get all your manifestation questions answered, because coaching or my membership is going to be the only way you can get that extra support. But obviously there is also all my free content online on social media. So do take a look if you want that extra support from me. It's in the description box as well, or the join button below. And now let's jump right into this topic. So when it feels like nothing's changing and you're just not seeing the shifts come in that you want, the movement or the full end result forming, you're just kind of seeing everything exactly the same and a lack, you are probably focused on 3D circumstances way too much. You're analyzing and focusing on and judging and recognizing what's going on around you. That, like I said, the lack, you're literally recognizing and reaffirming to yourself, there is a lack of this. Obviously not in that exact wording, but you're telling yourself there's still a lack. There's a lack of my manifestation. So it's obviously said and thought in your own mind in many different ways, sometimes quite subtly. You want to shift your focus away from the 3D circumstances and make sure you're utilizing your mental diet. So in these cases, it would be the example of literally flipping the negative thoughts back around into a positive and making sure that you're not making negative assumptions based on 3D circumstances, even ongoing ones or memories of what's been happening up till now. You don't want to hold on to those assumptions. So another reason why you may not be seeing what you want is you're also not letting go of past issues. This does also tie into your mental diet in terms of flipping the negative thoughts around, anything opposing it, or your logical mind trying to remind you, well, what about this? What about that? You stop it in its tracks and you do not engage in that way. You think from the new version. You think thoughts as if you already have what you want. Chances are you may also not have been actually, because of that, persisting in creating new beliefs. You've been having hot and cold thoughts. Usually, it's that you're wavering. So you're going between affirmations, thinking the way you should be, putting in the effort, and then reverting back to the old way of thinking, the maybe catastrophizing, letting your anxiety create thoughts and assumptions, overanalyzing things, and just thinking in a hot and cold way. So you want to be aware of this and make sure that you're not feeding into just your physical reality, taking everything as an objective fact, because that's the old way of thinking. That's the normal way of thinking, right? Where you just take everything at face value and say, well, this is reality, this is what life is like, instead of thinking, no, I'm going to decide what I want, what my reality looks like. This is actually what I have. This is how things are. And repeating that to your mind over and over and not letting yourself waver. That's different to having a few negative thoughts. You're actually wavering and having a hot and cold way of thinking, very up and down, like almost like an emotional roller coaster. And you have to persist in creating those new beliefs. So it's about applying consistency, having strong willpower, no matter what's going on around you, no matter what negative conversation or message you see, you just keep persisting. You may also have felt quite impatient and maybe be looking at time. I'm going to get into time a little bit later in this video, but yeah, if you've been feeling impatient and a little bit frustrated, and again, focusing on that lack emotionally, mentally, you're just, feeling a little anxious and you're saying, well, why isn't it here yet? That's still reaffirming, first of all, to your mind that you don't have what you want, but you're focusing on time. You're putting so much focus and effort of your day and your personal energy into looking at what's going on around you, looking at the process, looking at the lack of visible movement, and then making negative assumptions based on it. So one good way to counteract that is to find distractions throughout your day, anything positive, anything that will distract your mind. It's a good way to kind of hone your mental diet even more, because you're not letting yourself just sit around and put your manifestation on a pedestal, and then also being productive. So the two go hand in hand. Something where you can be productive, get on with your day, prioritize your life, and then just set aside as much mental effort as you can to focusing on your manifestation. You still go about your life as normal, don't put your life on hold for this manifestation, and then also distracting yourself when need be. When maybe it's your SP's birthday, or it's a big event coming up, or something might show up on the news, you distract yourself. It's also important not to check for updates, so not constantly refreshing a page or a conversation online or whatever it might be. Don't constantly check on updates. That's the same thing as keeping your manifestation on the pedestal, constantly trying to look, is it here yet? Is it done? You're telling your mind you don't have it yet if you do that. So also any logical analysis that comes up where you might recognize, I haven't received the message I want yet, I haven't got this level of communication I want yet, then just apply your mental diet. If there's a logical analysis and you're telling yourself something rational and logical in a way to protect yourself and very much based on what's going on in the 3D reality, you want to apply a mental diet and say, no, that's not true, it's here right now. It's all about being a bit delulu. A good practice you can also incorporate doesn't just have to be looping affirmations and robotically telling yourself you have it. It can be done in visual form, like you're mentally experiencing it, which is a lot of what Neville Goddard bases his teachings on, just literally mentally embodying as if it's here right now. What are you mentally experiencing when you imagine that? So you can use visualization, just repetitively imagining in your mind, whether it's through thoughts or visual form. Everyone has the capability to do that. You just keep repeating it to yourself. It's here right now, it's here right now, it's here right now. Remember that circumstances and people, so everyone in your reality, your specific person, they are all mirror reflections of your assumptions, the way you think, whether it's positive or negative or in your favor, and that you're at the center and you have great self-concept, whatever it might be, it is going to be reflected back to you. So if you're focusing on lack, if you're focusing on time frames and looking at the 3D reality and reminding your mind, this is what I'm seeing in front of me right now, this is what I'm seeing in front of me right now, you're slowing down and causing a somewhat of a delay in your movement and manifestation. Doesn't ruin anything, but as I've said in previous videos, it is going to cause somewhat of a delay. You're slowing things down because you're saying, I have what I want, I have what I want. Oh wait, look over there. That's showing me something negative. So you don't want to refocus your mind on that again. The main thing to take away and focus on to really simplify it is to just consciously think thoughts throughout the day as often as you can, repetitively, that you already have it. So that's why affirmations are easy, because it's one sentence, one phrase, and you just saturate your mind with that, but you just keep repeating to yourself that you already have your desire. It's really just about mental repetition and staying consistent every day, looping your affirmations, like I said, having strong willpower to not engage and get into a victim mindset and just give into the 3D reality, be lazy, self-sabotage, or just, feel sorry for yourself and tell yourself how difficult things are. Have the willpower and be strong-willed enough to be consistent and persist and know this is something I really want in my life. This is a goal I want to achieve in my life and I want it now. So I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to put the effort in. Being consistent, persisting, that is always the key element. That is how you're going to create the result you want. So yeah, it's all about mental repetition. Like I said, through affirmations or just in visual format. Whatever you want to do, you want to stay focused more on the positive than the negative. So if you haven't seen what you want yet, it's easily fixable, which I probably should have also said at the beginning of the video, but all my videos are quite motivational, so I think you guys got the gist of that. And also, if you've got to the end of the video, send me a little sign in the comments, because thank you guys. But yeah, essentially you just want to apply consistency, persist, mental repetition, because if you stop wavering the way you possibly have been, you're going to see everything shift so much more powerfully. So that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, found this useful. If you did, then please do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. As always, everything that you want to know, any extra content, how to work with me, it's all linked below, right below the video screen. And I will see you next time.